You begin by noticing your breath. It arrives without effort. It leaves without being asked. You let it happen, the way waves let themselves rise and fall, and you imagine your body growing lighter with each slow exhale, as if gravity has decided to be kind tonight. You are not standing or sitting anymore. You are floating, supported from beneath by something vast and patient. Around you, darkness opens, not the sharp darkness of closed rooms, but the soft darkness of open space. A darkness that feels cool and spacious, like night air drifting through an open window. Far away, starlight glimmers faintly, scattered like moonlight on water, never demanding attention, only offering presence. You float at the edge of a cosmic sea. Space does not feel empty here. It feels full in a quiet way, as if it is breathing alongside you. The universe inhales. The universe exhales. You follow along, a little slower each time, your thoughts loosening their grip and drifting like foam on a tide that knows where it is going. Somewhere beneath this calm surface are black holes, though they do not announce themselves. They do not roar or shimmer or chase. They simply exist, like the deepest parts of an ocean where light fades and pressure turns into stillness. You are not afraid of these depths. Tonight they are not monsters. They are places where the universe rests. Gravity here feels different than the kind you know from standing on the ground. It is not a tug or a weight. It is a suggestion, a reminder, like water leaning toward water, like a tide slowly remembering the shape of the shore. You feel it as a gentle sense of belonging, as if everything knows where it fits without being told. You float. You breathe. The cosmic sea stretches in all directions, smooth and unbroken. Time does not hurry here. Time feels wide, like an afternoon that never quite turns into evening. Events unfold slowly if they unfold at all. Even the universe seems content to pause. Black holes are part of this pause. They form when stars grow tired, when light gives way to quiet, when outward shine finally agrees to turn inward. But you do not need to think about that yet. For now, they are simply deep places, calm places, places where motion slows until it feels almost like sleep. You imagine one beneath you now, far below the surface, so distant it cannot disturb your floating. It does not pull you down. It holds itself together, balanced and complete, like a deep breath held forever. Space curves gently around it, the way water curves around a stone resting at the bottom of a lake. The universe does this naturally. Curves, settles. You find a strange comfort in knowing that even the largest things are allowed to rest. Your breath grows slower. Your shoulders soften. If your mind wanders, and it probably does, you let it wander without chasing it back. Thoughts drift by like distant boats, small silhouettes on the horizon. You do not need to board them. You can simply watch them pass. Somewhere, unimaginably far away, two deep regions of this cosmic ocean exist not in isolation, but in quiet proximity. You do not rush toward them. You only sense them, the way you sense a tide long before it reaches shore. A faint awareness, a subtle leaning of space. The universe is very good at patience. Gravity here is not a force with sharp edges. It is a memory. Space remembering where matter has been. Space remembering how to curve. It holds onto this memory the way water holds onto the path of a wave long after the wave itself has passed. You feel that memory beneath you now, steady and reassuring. It is the reason you float instead of fall. It is the reason the cosmic sea feels structured rather than chaotic. Even darkness has shape. You take another breath. Longer this time. The starlight around you seems to shimmer a little, though it never flickers. It is constant, dependable. Stars do not hurry either. They burn, they fade, they rest. The universe allows all of it without judgment, without commentary. If black holes could be said to have a personality, and they really cannot, but you might smile at the thought, they would be introverts. Very quiet introverts. The kind that enjoy deep conversations with space itself and prefer listening over speaking. They do not send messages. They receive them. You float above all this, safe and untouched, held by the same rules that hold galaxies together. There is no edge you might slip from, no sudden drop. The cosmic sea has no cliffs. Your breath continues to slow, almost sinking with something larger than you. Inhale, exhale. Each cycle feels like a tide completing itself, then beginning again, endlessly patient. Far below, the deep waters are not entirely still. Some black holes are born close enough to sense one another. Their presence creates a subtle curve in space, like overlapping ripples that never quite meet. First, this means nothing. The universe has all the time it needs. You do not need to understand this yet. Understanding can wait. For now, it is enough to know that motion exists even in stillness, and that stillness does not mean absence. You remain floating, weightless, and calm. The cosmic sea supports you without effort. Gravity holds everything gently in place, like a promise that nothing will drift away unremembered. As your breathing settles into its slowest rhythm yet, you sense it, not as an event, but as a possibility. Some tides in this vast ocean are not alone. Somewhere in the deep, unseen currents are beginning to turn toward one another very slowly, as if space itself is listening and leaning in. And you drift there, on the surface, resting. As the universe prepares to tell its quiet story, you are still floating when the sense of depth begins to change. The surface of the cosmic sea remains calm above you, but below, something invites your attention. Not urgently, not loudly. It is the feeling of water growing cooler as you drift farther from sunlight, the feeling of space thickening into something more deliberate. You breathe in, slow and steady, and allow yourself to sink just enough to listen. Stars, you learn, do not simply vanish. They age the way evenings do. Gradually, light softens. Energy grows quieter. A star shines for a long time, holding itself outward against gravity's patient pull, like a swimmer treading water without thinking about how tired their arms have become. Eventually, though, the swimmer rests. Eventually, the star does too. You imagine one now, far away, glowing gently in the cosmic ocean. For ages, it has balanced light against gravity, outward against inward. But balance is not permanent. Nothing is wrong when it shifts. Nothing has failed. The universe allows change the way tides allow moonlight to guide them. The star begins to grow heavy. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. Just heavy enough to notice. Its light dims, and with that dimming comes a quiet agreement to turn inward. Gravity does not attack. It welcomes. Like water flowing into a deeper channel it has always known was there. You feel this inward motion as you breathe out. The star's outer layers relax first, settling closer, pressing gently inward. There is no violence in this image. Only surrender. Only matter remembering that it does not need to hold itself apart forever. Space curves a little more around the star, responding the way water responds to weight placed within it. This is how deep waters begin. Gravity here is not forceful. It is nostalgic. It remembers where mass once moved. It remembers how light once filled a place. And it gently invites everything to come home to that memory. You might smile at this because gravity sounds almost sentimental when described this way. The universe, it turns out, has feelings or at least behaviors that feel comforting when you are trying to fall asleep. As the star continues inward, heat and motion grow quieter. The star is not being crushed. It is being gathered. Space folds around it, layer by layer, like blankets tucked carefully around someone who has finally decided to rest. You sink a little deeper in the water. Warmth fades into coolness, and pressure does not frighten you. It soothes. The deeper you go, the steadier everything feels. The universe does not rush this process. It has no deadline. It has only patience. Eventually, the star becomes something else. Not empty, not gone, simply deeper than before. A black hole is born not as an explosion, but as a pause so complete that even light agrees to stop trying. It is a place where inward motion finishes its long sentence and rests on a period. You imagine this depth as a perfectly calm basin at the bottom of the cosmic sea. Nothing splashes. Nothing churns. Everything that arrives does so gently, guided by curves in space that feel almost like arms. Your breath mirrors this motion. Inhale, feeling your chest rise slightly. Exhale, letting it sink back into stillness. Black holes, you realize, are not objects in the usual sense. They are regions, places where gravity has finished shaping itself. Space bends so deeply here that paths all lean inward, like streams feeding a quiet lake. And yet, even this depth is not lonely. The universe rarely works in isolation. Stars often form near one another, sharing nurseries of gas and dust. When they grow old, they sometimes do so together. When deep waters are born close by, their basins feel each other's presence through space, the way neighboring tides feel the same moon. You rest in this understanding. Endings here are not disappearances. They are transitions into stillness. Light does not die. It hands its work over to gravity, trusting it to remember everything. The universe keeps careful records, written not in numbers, but in curves and flows. If this feels reassuring, that is not an accident. You are part of this same system of gentle surrender. Muscles soften, thoughts quiet, awareness narrows to the simple fact of breathing. Nothing is being taken from you. You are only letting go of what you no longer need to hold. Black holes continue to form across the cosmic sea, each one a deep note in a very slow song. They do not announce themselves. They do not compete. They simply exist, shaping space around them the way depth shapes water. You imagine drifting above one now, sensing its presence without fear. It does not pull you down. It holds itself together, complete and content. Space around it feels smooth, polished by time. Somewhere nearby, another deep basin exists. You do not see it. You do not need to. You sense it the way you sense a change in current before it touches you. Two regions of depth, formed close enough to feel each other's curves in space. Their currents begin to overlap, just slightly, just enough to matter. The universe notices, but it does not intervene. It lets gravity do what gravity does best. It lets memory guide motion. These deep waters are patient. They will take as long as they need. Time stretches here, becoming wide and forgiving. You float, calm and supported, knowing that nothing in this cosmic ocean happens without permission from stillness first. As your breath grows long and quiet, you feel it, the faintest sense of turning far below. Two depths, aware of one another now, beginning a shared motion so slow it barely deserves the name. You remain at the surface, resting, while currents beneath you start to lean together, preparing for a dance that will take a very long time to unfold. You remain floating, calm and untroubled, when you begin to notice the change. It is not dramatic. It does not announce itself. It feels more like the subtle awareness that comes when water beneath you begins to drift in a new direction. The surface stays smooth. The stars above you continue their quiet glow. And yet, far below, something has started to turn. You breathe in. You breathe out. Two deep waters exist beneath the cosmic sea, each complete in its own stillness. They were born close enough to share the same curved space, close enough that gravity, that gentle memory, allows them to feel one another. Not as a pull, more as an invitation. At first, the motion is almost nothing. Space leans just slightly. Paths curve just a little more than before. If you were not listening, you might miss it entirely. But you are listening. You are resting in awareness, and awareness notices even the quietest shifts. The two depths begin to circle, not like objects chasing one another, but like paired tides responding to the same rhythm. Their motion is wide and slow, tracing loops through space that take ages to complete. Time here does not tick. It stretches like water stretching around a stone. You imagine this dance from above, the way you might watch two slow currents moving beneath the surface of the ocean. They do not collide. They do not rush. They orbit, endlessly patient, held together by the shape of space itself. Gravity is not forceful here. Gravity is cooperative. Space bends under their combined presence, and that bending becomes the path they follow. They move because space suggests it, because curvature offers the easiest way forward. Everything takes the path of least resistance, including the universe. Your breath finds that same ease. Inhale slow and full. Exhale longer, softer. As the two tides circle, you feel how motion and stillness can exist at the same time. The depths are moving, yes, but the movement feels restful, like rocking, like being carried without needing to steer. This is how the universe prefers to do things. It does not shove. It does not hurry. It lets relationships unfold at the speed of gravity, which is to say, very slowly. So slowly that patience stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like comfort. The space between the two depths hums softly, not with sound, but with tension so gentle it could almost be mistaken for silence. Space is elastic here, stretching and relaxing as the tides move, responding the way water responds to weight. You feel this elasticity in your own body. Muscles soften, jaw unclenches, thoughts lose their edges. The circling continues, wide loops becoming slightly narrower over very long stretches of time. Nothing dramatic happens from one moment to the next. Change here is cumulative, like waves shaping stone grain by grain. If you could watch long enough, and the universe can, you would see that each orbit leaves space a little different than before. The paths curve inward just a touch. The dance tightens almost imperceptibly. You smile at this, perhaps without realizing why. There is something comforting about knowing that even enormous things are allowed to approach each other slowly. That closeness does not require urgency. That union, when it comes, will arrive in its own time. The two depths continue their patient circling, and space continues to bend around them, offering support rather than resistance. Nothing strains. Nothing snaps. The universe does not believe in sudden movements when gentler ones will do. You float, held by the same principles. Above you, the stars remain calm witnesses. Below you, the tides turn. Between them, space stretches and relaxes, learning the shape of this partnership. You take another breath. It feels circular now, complete. This motion does not tire the depths. Motion here does not consume energy the way it does in your daily world. Instead, it redistributes it, smoothing it out, spreading it into space like warmth spreading through water. Time continues to widen. Moments become long enough to rest inside. You are not counting them. You are drifting through them, supported by the quiet certainty that nothing will happen before it is ready. The dance grows slightly closer. Not close enough to touch. Not yet. Just close enough that the space between them becomes more interesting than the space beyond. The universe pays attention to this, the way you pay attention when a rhythm changes just enough to notice. Space itself becomes an active participant now. It flexes gently, carrying subtle disturbances outward, though you do not name them yet. They are simply part of the motion, part of the ocean responding to its deepest tides. You remain peaceful. If a thought wanders through your mind, a memory, a plan, a question, you let it drift by like seaweed in a slow current. It does not belong to you right now. Nothing belongs to you right now. You are simply here. The two depths continue to circle, their paths slowly tightening, their shared rhythm becoming more pronounced. They are learning how to move together. Space is learning how to hold them. Nothing pulls too hard. Everything moves only as fast as it must. You sense that this dance will not last forever, but you also sense that forever is not something the universe worries about. It lives comfortably in long processes and gradual shifts. It trusts that stillness will be there when motion finishes. Your breath mirrors this trust. Inhale, exhale. The cosmic ocean remains calm above you, undisturbed by the slow turning below. From the surface, nothing looks different. From within space, everything is changing, just enough to matter. The circling tightens again, just slightly, and with it comes a new feeling. Not urgency, but anticipation. Space feels more alert, as if listening to itself, as if preparing to carry something delicate outward. You do not need to follow this yet. You float, you rest. Far below, the two tides continue their slow approach, and the ocean of space begins to stir in a new way, almost imperceptible, like the first hint of a ripple forming long before it reaches the shore. You continue floating above the cosmic sea, held gently by invisible tides. The circling below you has grown more intimate, not hurried, not pressing, just closer, like two currents responding to each other's quiet suggestions. You breathe, and each inhale mirrors the widening loops of the depths beneath. Each exhale follows the same rhythm as the slow spiral that has begun to form. Time stretches, not endlessly, but enough that every movement feels full, complete, meaningful. You sense the motion not with your eyes, but with your awareness, a subtle tug in the fabric of the ocean itself. The depths move, space bends, and yet the surface remains still above you. You float, untethered, weightless. The two deep waters below begin their inward approach. They circle, and each circle draws them just slightly closer. The motion is so gradual that it might seem non-existent if you were not paying attention. But you are paying attention. You are listening with the patience of the universe itself. Gravity is quiet here. It does not demand. It suggests. It remembers where mass has been and invites it to join a shared path. The two tides respond to this suggestion with an elegance you might compare to water finding the deepest channel of a river. Each loop is slightly smaller than the last, but there is no rush, no anxiety. Only the rhythm of natural motion. Your breath aligns. Inhale, exhale. Beneath you, space is beginning to hum softly, not with sound, but with the subtle awareness that comes when movement begins to leave its mark. The spiral is not a violent spin. It is a gentle reshaping, a conversation between two regions of depth and the ocean around them. Ripples begin to extend outward, faint and slow, carrying traces of their paths. You imagine these ripples like the gentle spread of water across a calm pool after a pebble sinks. The impact is soft. The memory of the motion travels far, though you cannot yet see the ends. You feel it, though, as if the universe itself has exhaled. Even as the depths spiral inward, nothing is lost. Energy shifts, redistributes. Space adapts to carry it. The currents below do not exhaust themselves. They glide along invisible contours, as if water remembered the shape of its basin long before you arrive to watch. You notice how calm the cosmic ocean remains above. It does not rush to react. It is patient, supportive, welcoming you to float without fear. You inhale, feeling the cool, expansive darkness surround you. You exhale, letting the sensation of weightless calm seep through every fiber of your being. The spiral continues. The circles tighten imperceptibly. Energy departs in ways you cannot see but can imagine. Each pass leaves the depths slightly nearer, space slightly more curved, the subtle hum of motion spreading outward into the silent sea. You smile softly, perhaps at the idea that even in such vastness, patience governs everything. Nothing pulls faster than it must. Nothing resists unnecessarily. Every motion has a reason, but that reason does not need to be explained. It only exists, and somewhere far away, distant regions of the cosmic ocean begin to notice very faintly. Tiny tremors, the barest suggestion of movement, begin to travel across space. They are so subtle that you could almost mistake them for nothing at all. But you are awake enough, present enough, to feel the hint of listening beginning beyond the immediate spiral. The spiral beneath you is no longer two isolated depths. They interact, overlapping, influencing one another. Space itself adjusts, bending to carry both the memory of motion and the ongoing path toward convergence. The universe does not push. It simply accommodates, like a river widening to accept new streams. You take a long, slow breath. Inhale. You feel expansion. Exhale. You feel settling. The surface above you remains calm, a quiet contrast to the slow shift below. Even if you close your eyes, you sense the spiral's subtle tug in the air around you. The ocean of space listens as patiently as you do. Each cycle of inhale and exhale mirrors the rhythm of these unseen currents. The spiral carries information, not numbers, not urgent messages, simply memory, like the pattern left behind by a wave. You imagine how, far away, something sensitive might eventually notice these ripples, how distant listeners could read the gentle shifts left in space. But you do not rush. You do not need to. This is enough. To float, to witness, to drift with the motion. Your body softens. Your mind loosens. Muscles release the last tension. Thoughts drift past like clouds reflected on still water. You let them go without judgment. Nothing here demands control. You are a quiet observer in a vast, slow-moving ocean. As the two depths continue inward, the spiral becomes more defined. Paths once wide are now subtly tighter. Motion is not frantic. It is deliberate and gentle. Each approach carries the promise of connection, the preparation for something deeper, yet everything unfolds at the pace of the universe itself. You notice the faintest signs of resonance. Space itself begins to hum, not loudly, but like the vibration you feel through water after a stone sinks. These vibrations spread outward, unnoticed at first, touching regions of space that are far from the spiral but sensitive enough to feel it. The hum is reassuring. It is the universe's way of communicating. All is well. All is still. Motion and rest coexist. Patience governs everything. You float in agreement, allowing the words without needing to speak them. The spiral below continues. Each pass leaves a trace, a gentle ripple in space, invisible but present. You breathe with it. Inhale, matching the expansion. Exhale, following the settling. Each cycle teaches you a little more about the patient, deliberate nature of cosmic motion. Somewhere in the distance, a delicate tremble begins. Far enough that you cannot see it, close enough that it might matter eventually. A hint of listening, the first suggestion of reaction. You notice it and it does not disturb you. You do not need to follow it. You only let it be. And as you drift here, resting above the slowly tightening spiral, you understand that the cosmic ocean is never still, even when it appears calm. Motion carries memory. Stillness allows reflection. Ripples extend outward, but they always begin from depth. You float, you breathe, and below, the spiral continues, patient and deliberate, carrying its quiet message outward, almost imperceptible, as the universe itself listens. The slow spiral inward continues, and somewhere beyond sight, the ocean begins to prepare for the next wave, for the subtle ripples that will eventually carry the story forward. You continue floating, held by the calm surface of the cosmic sea. The spiral below has done its work. Its circular dance has loosened and tightened in slow, deliberate steps. You breathe with it. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, sinking. Each motion seems to leave a trace, a gentle vibration in the ocean of space, faint but certain. These are ripples, not like the waves you know on water, but similar in feeling. They travel outward from the spiral, moving across space itself, carrying the memory of motion. The depths that danced beneath you have not vanished. Their movements linger, spreading through the cosmic sea like soft pulses in the night. You imagine the ripples as gentle vibrations, moving so slowly and smoothly that you almost mistake them for calm. But if you focus, you feel them. The subtle stretch of space, the faint curve, the tiny tug on the invisible currents that support you. They move endlessly, like waves after a pebble sinks, stretching out farther than the eye can see. Above you, the stars continue their quiet shimmer. They do not need to announce the ripples. They do not interfere. They simply witness, steady and patient. You notice the contrast between the vast stillness of the surface and the soft waves beneath. Both exist and both are right. The ripples are born from energy that quietly leaves the system. Nothing is lost. The spiral does not dissipate in a burst or a bang. It simply smooths itself out, leaving waves that stretch farther than you can follow. They are imperceptible to those not attuned, but you are attuned. You feel the faint vibration along the surface, as if space itself is exhaling, letting the memory of the dance extend outward. You breathe. Inhale, noticing the subtle rise of calm. Exhale, sinking deeper into the ocean of awareness. Your body begins to mirror the movement of space itself, subtle, rhythmic, patient. These ripples carry more than motion. They carry information, though not in numbers or equations. Just as waves on a lake carry the memory of wind or a dropped stone, these ripples carry the memory of spiraling depths and gentle turns. The ocean of space remembers, and you float above it, feeling the gentle pulse of its memory. You might smile at the thought. The universe has a way of telling its story quietly, almost imperceptibly. It does not shout. It does not demand attention. It lets waves carry the tale, trusting that someone patient enough will notice. Far away, you imagine instruments lying in wait. They are long, patient shores, listening for the faintest vibrations. They do not intrude. They do not push. They merely observe. Perhaps you chuckle softly at the idea of them, massive and silent, like quiet lifeguards attending the cosmic beach. They await, ready to catch a story that has traveled unimaginable distances, yet arrives as subtly as a sigh. You inhale again, feeling the calm of waiting. Exhale, sinking further into the trust of observation. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is urgent. Motion spreads. Stillness receives. Both are necessary. Both are beautiful. The ripples move in waves, undulating across space. You sense them stretching, fading, and merging with the surrounding calm. Even as they diminish in strength, their passage leaves the ocean slightly altered. Space knows it has been touched. Space carries memory now indefinitely. Your body feels the rhythm, responding without conscious thought. Muscles soften. Jaw unclenches. Thoughts drift like light foam on a slow current. You are at ease. You are present. You are part of the ocean, drifting above waves that extend far beyond your perception. The spiraling depths below have done their part. They no longer circle in tight loops. They have released their motion into the surrounding space, where it stretches outward as gentle vibrations. You imagine the surface of the ocean reflecting those movements, subtle, elegant, impossible to rush. You inhale slowly. The ripples expand outward, like waves reaching the farthest shores. Exhale, and feel yourself sinking into the gentle certainty that these movements are remembered, preserved, respected. Even the quietest events leave their mark. Even the softest waves have significance. Somewhere, far away, the patient instruments respond. Not with sound, not with light, but with awareness. They detect the soft dance. They feel the ripple's passage. They exist to witness, and witnessing is enough. You might smile again, imagining the vast distance between you and them, connected only by subtle vibrations of the cosmic ocean. The ripples carry the spiral story. They tell of circles that tightened, of tides that approached one another, of gravity that invited rather than pulled. They whisper across space, faint as a breath, and you float above it all, part observer, part participant. You notice the rhythmic quality of it all. Patterns appear and fade. Each pulse has a gentle start and finish. You breathe in, feeling the pattern echo in your chest. You breathe out, letting it fade into the calm beneath you. Wave after wave, ripple after ripple, each one a quiet note in the universe's endless song. And though the ripples stretch far, you remain above them, a patient witness. The ocean of space beneath you has shifted, subtly, elegantly. Motion exists alongside stillness. Memory exists alongside presence. Everything has a place. Everything has meaning, even if you cannot name it. You float. You breathe. You smile softly at the simplicity and complexity coexisting in the same space. The ripples are not loud, not urgent, not demanding. They are patient as you are patient, as the universe is patient. Far beyond sight, beyond comprehension, they travel. The spiral's memory moves outward in gentle waves, carrying the story of motion without disturbance. Somewhere, instruments remain attentive, waiting for the faintest echo of the spiral, ready to translate quiet into understanding. And you drift there, floating atop the cosmic sea, aware of the ripples, aware of yourself, aware that even in darkness, the universe has a way of remembering, a way of listening, a way of letting the softest movement carry meaning endlessly forward. The ripples stretch on, fading gently into the deep ocean. And somewhere beyond, listening patiently, the universe prepares to respond, as you continue to float, calm, and unhurried, above the waves. You float above the cosmic sea, observing ripples traveling endlessly from spiraling depths below. Somewhere far away, patiently awaiting these waves, instruments lie in quiet rooms. They do not intrude. They do not interfere. They exist to listen. You might imagine them as long, patient shores, gentle and still, attuned to subtle tides brushing across space. They are the universe's quiet companions. Your breath slows. Inhale, exhale. Listening here is not about hurry or achievement. It is about presence. The detectors do not rush to capture the waves. They allow them to arrive in their own time, moving through space as they have for eons. They are attentive without tension, observant without expectation. Their stillness mirrors your own floating, your own calm awareness. The ripples that were once spiraling deep below now reach these patient listeners. They carry information, but not in the way of numbers or abrupt signs. They carry stories of motion, of depth, of curves in space that have taken long, deliberate turns. Each ripple whispers, and the instruments are trained to receive these whispers with care. You might smile, imagining the gentle humor in this. Colossal machines, massive and metallic, leaning into stillness, acting as the universe's attentive audience. They wait with infinite patience, capturing nothing by force, only by observation. They respond not with sound, but with understanding, translating the faintest vibrations into knowledge. The universe appreciates patience. Above, the stars continue their calm vigil. You watch them shimmer, and you notice how their steady light contrasts with the subtle vibrations that now pass through space. The combination of light and movement, of stillness and wave, creates a balance that is almost meditative. You are part of that balance, floating, breathing, aware. You inhale deeply, feeling the weightless support of space beneath you. Exhale, letting awareness sink deeper. Your body mirrors the rhythm of the universe. The detectors, far away, respond in kind, sensing each subtle motion as a pulse of understanding. Listening becomes a form of care, not a task. The ripples carry tales of spiraling tides, of slow circles tightening below the cosmic sea. These stories are subtle. They do not announce themselves, and yet, the instruments catch every nuance. They feel the memory of motion, translating invisible curves into something tangible, something that can be read, interpreted, appreciated. You imagine how these waves, once traveling undisturbed, now meet attentive minds and tools. The process is gentle, respectful. Human curiosity does not demand. It observes, it waits, it learns. And in this act of patient listening, you see a reflection of yourself. Floating, breathing, quietly noticing without urgency. Above, your attention drifts to the cosmic ocean itself. The surface remains smooth, even as ripples continue beneath. The waves do not crash. They extend slowly, intentionally, fading only as far as they need. The instruments, patient and still, capture these faint waves without altering them. Listening is not interference. Listening is participation without imposition. Your own breath lengthens, moving in harmony with the pulse of the universe. Inhale, and feel the calm swell within your chest. Exhale, and allow it to sink into your core. The rhythm of observing mirrors the rhythm of the waves. Motion and stillness coexist. Presence and attention coexist. The two depths that once spiraled are now near enough that their mutual motion has been translated into subtle ripples across vast distances. Space curves gently around them, carrying the vibrations toward patient instruments. Far from the cosmic ocean you float above. You sense these connections, though you cannot see them, and it comforts you. The universe is listening. You are listening, and everything unfolds without urgency. You might chuckle softly at the idea that patience is a form of strength. That the universe is quiet, slow dance requires no drama, no shouting, no hasty measurements. It only requires presence, attention, and trust. The instruments embody this principle perfectly, waiting for information to arrive without pushing it. You drift a little closer to the imaginary shore of awareness, feeling how deep stillness can coexist with movement. Ripples arrive, and the instruments receive them, stretching space into tiny variations of understanding. You feel this resonance as a gentle pulse under your body, subtle enough that you might not notice if not paying attention, but present nonetheless. The instruments do not analyze. They do not compete. They do not rush. They feel. They respond. They learn. In their patient listening, The universe itself seems to exhale, as if confirming that all is as it should be. Your own body mirrors this rhythm. Muscles soften, shoulders relax, mind drifts lightly, letting waves of thought pass without holding. You are floating, breathing, aware, and yet entirely weightless in this cosmic rhythm. The universe has made a place for patience, and you are permitted to occupy it fully. The waves reach ever further, extending toward horizons you cannot see. They carry the memory of spirals, the faint echo of circular tides. They stretch across space, untouched, unhurried, and eventually meet attentive shores, patient instruments that do nothing but notice. Listening, they affirm the subtle truth. Even the quietest motions matter. Even the softest ripples have significance. You inhale again, deep and slow. Exhale and feel the reassurance of being part of this listening. Everything belongs. Everything matters. Motion is remembered. Stillness is honored. Presence is sufficient. Far away, in rooms bathed in soft light, the instruments wait for the ripples to arrive. They are calm, silent, prepared for the faintest passage of energy. They do not startle. They do not interrupt. They exist to receive, to honor, to translate the soft, gentle message of the universe. And you float above it all, weightless and aware, a silent witness to the dialogue between movement and stillness, between ripples and listeners. Inhale and feel the calm of patience. Exhale and drift deeper into trust. The cosmic sea continues its quiet motions below, waves and spirals gradually settling. Yet the ripples persist, traveling outward indefinitely, carrying the story of motion to patient ears. You float, calm, and at ease, held above it all by invisible tides, feeling the universe's gentle care in every subtle vibration. Somewhere beyond sight, beyond reach, beyond comprehension, the instruments remain attentive, listening, as you drift, as the waves drift, as the universe whispers softly to itself. And you breathe, and you float, and the ocean of space waits patiently for what comes next. You float above the cosmic sea, your body weightless and calm, as the spiraling depths beneath continue their slow approach. The currents, which have circled one another with infinite patience, begin to draw closer in their silent, deliberate dance. The ocean of space beneath you is not turbulent. It is not frantic. Motion and stillness coexist in perfect harmony. You feel the pull, gentle yet unmistakable, as if two quiet streams have decided to join their paths. Your breath mirrors this rhythm. Inhale, rising. Exhale, settling. You sense it first as a subtle shift. The loops that once seemed endless now bend inward more noticeably, drawing the deep waters closer together. The universe does not rush this union. It does not force it. Every curve, every subtle turn, is guided by gravity's gentle memory, reminding each depth where it belongs. The merger begins not with drama, but with inevitability. The two spirals tighten, paths overlap. Space, soft and yielding, accommodates the growing connection. It bends smoothly, like water around stones that are settling for the first time. There is no struggle here, only a gentle, natural coming together. You float and watch, feeling the subtle vibrations beneath you. Each motion leaves a faint trace, a ripple that extends outward like the soft echo of a bell beneath water. The depths do not collide. They embrace. They merge, not as two fighting currents, but as partners settling into shared rhythm. Time stretches infinitely, and yet it feels perfectly measured. Nothing moves faster than it must. Nothing hesitates longer than necessary. The two tides find the perfect balance, orbiting one another until the distinction between them blurs. One becomes deeper still, encompassing the histories of both, carrying the gentle memory of spirals that have persisted for ages. You breathe with them. Inhale and feel expansion. Exhale and feel settling. Your body mirrors the universe's calm. There is no chaos here, only the quiet elegance of union. The surface of the cosmic sea remains smooth above you, reflecting starlight faintly, like soft moonlight on water. The merged depths shape space around them. You sense the subtle curvature, like a bowl forming beneath a calm pool. Gravity, patient and invisible, holds everything in place. It remembers the paths the depths have taken and allows the union to unfold naturally. You might smile at the idea, gravity as a patient teacher showing two currents how to meet without conflict. The ripples that have traveled far begin to carry the story of this moment. They move outward, faint and gentle, like the last whisper of waves after a pebble sinks. The ocean of space itself seems to hum in acknowledgement, a quiet vibration that reaches instruments far away, patiently listening for the faintest echoes. You notice the resonance in your own body. Muscles soften. Thoughts drift without clinging. The breath comes in long, slow cycles, rising and falling with the rhythm of the universe. You float effortlessly, part of the scene yet entirely at peace, a calm witness to the merging of immense, invisible forces. The moment stretches. It is not instantaneous, yet it is complete. Two spirals have become one. Space has reshaped itself to accommodate the merger, forming a single basin of depth where two previously existed. The edges of the basins blend, and the currents stabilize, moving in concert as a single, harmonious presence. You breathe in deeply, feeling the expansion. Exhale and let it settle. The cosmic ocean beneath you mirrors the same process. Depth consolidates, energy redistributes, and the surface remains serene. Even though change has occurred, it leaves no turbulence in its wake. There is only calm and only presence. The ripples carry the history outward. They tell of spirals that once danced alone, now converged. They whisper across vast distances, tracing arcs of memory that instruments and observant minds far away might one day read. You imagine the waves stretching, slowly, endlessly, like the quiet extension of sound beneath water. This is the beauty of union. It is not violent. It is not hurried. It is patient, deliberate, elegant. Two currents, once distinct, are now one. Their histories merge into a single memory, carried forward into the fabric of space. And you float above it all, watching, breathing, noticing without needing to act. You inhale again, feeling your chest rise slowly. Exhale and sense the calm deepening. The surface of the cosmic sea reflects faint starlight, shimmering softly over the merged depths. Above and below, calm and motion coexist. There is no tension. There is only the gentle rhythm of completion. Somewhere, far beyond your sight, the instruments respond to the ripples. They detect subtle changes in curvature and movement, interpreting the story of the merger without urgency. Listening, they translate the whispers of space into understanding, capturing the memory of motion without disturbing it. You might smile at the thought. Even in vast silence, attention matters. Even in deep stillness, there is learning. The universe itself seems to sigh, a soft, invisible exhalation. The currents have met, and now the merged depth rests. Space has adjusted to carry this new presence, curves smoothing, vibrations spreading, equilibrium settling naturally. You float and breathe with this rhythm, becoming aware of your own role as witness, part of the vast network of calm observation. Even as you drift, you notice that the ocean does not forget. The hum of space continues. The ripples from the merging depths carry information across cosmic distances, touching instruments, other regions of space, perhaps even future spirals waiting to meet. Memory persists, connection persists, calm persists. The merged tide beneath you is patient and silent. Its motion is deliberate, gentle, unhurried. It has traveled from individual spirals into a single, coherent depth. Space curves to hold it. Gravity remembers the steps that brought it here. And you float above it, calm, weightless, aware. You inhale, exhale. Even now, you sense that the story does not end here. The ripples of the merger continue their journey. They spread across the cosmic sea, faint vibrations of memory and motion. Somewhere, instruments lie in still rooms, quietly waiting to notice, to learn, to record. The ocean of space hums softly beneath, acknowledging that nothing is ever truly lost, and every movement, however subtle, matters. And you float, above the merged depths, breathing, calm, part of the rhythm. The cosmic sea carries memory, connection, and quiet understanding, and you rest in its embrace, ready for the next wave, the next ripple, the next whisper of motion. The ocean beneath you hums softly, and somewhere, far beyond sight, space listens. The tides have met, and yet the story continues, stretching outward in ripples that will someday be noticed. You float, breathe, and drift, held by the calm certainty of the universe, as the next chapter of motion quietly awaits. You remain floating above the cosmic sea, weightless and calm, after witnessing the merging of the deep currents below. The spiral, now unified into a single, deeper presence, has left its mark. The depths do not churn violently. They do not flare or splash. They settle gracefully, letting motion transition naturally into stillness. You breathe in and out slowly, noticing how your body mirrors the calm beneath you. Inhale, exhale. Space itself continues to respond to the merger, like a bell after it has been struck. The vibrations do not vanish instantly. They ripple outward, fading gradually, carrying the memory of the moment with them. You imagine the waves stretching, gentle and deliberate, across the vast ocean of space. No rush, no abrupt stops, only the patient elongation of presence. The ocean of space hums faintly beneath you. You feel it as a subtle vibration, almost like a pulse through the water. These are the aftereffects of the merging tides, the soft echoes of motion now transformed into equilibrium. You inhale, drawing in calm. Exhale and sink a little deeper into awareness. The universe is breathing with you. You notice how change has left everything altered, yet nothing is chaotic. The depths have merged, space has curved gently, and the ripples continue. Equilibrium forms naturally, like waves gradually smoothing the surface of a still pool. Motion is remembered, stillness is honored, and you float in the balance, weightless, present, and supported. The after-ringing is delicate, not loud, not demanding, just a faint whisper of motion traveling across distances. You imagine the ripples stretching endlessly, touching instruments and distant regions of space, carrying the subtle history of the merger. Each vibration is a note in the universe's soft song, a trace of the cosmic dance that just occurred. You inhale, sensing the lingering pulse beneath you. Exhale, letting the calm settle further. Your breath becomes a mirror to the fading vibrations, a gentle rhythm aligned with the subtle currents that persist below. Muscles loosen, shoulders relax, and thoughts drift like clouds over a quiet ocean. Somewhere, far away, the patient instruments notice. They sense the residual waves, interpret them carefully, and record the quiet story of motion. They do not demand or hurry. They simply listen. The universe communicates through these gentle pulses, and the listeners respond in kind, translating subtlety into understanding. You might smile softly at the thought. Massive machines waiting quietly, attuned to the softest vibrations, existing only to witness. You drift higher in awareness, observing the ocean of space. Ripples move outward, fainter with each stretch, but carrying the memory of spirals and merged depths. Nothing is lost. Everything persists. Motion leaves a trace, and that trace will ripple across the cosmic sea for unimaginable distances. The merged depth below rests in quiet grace. Its form is stable, curved smoothly by gravity's patient guidance. The after-ringing does not disrupt it. The depth has settled. Energy has been distributed. Space hums softly in response, like a bell underwater, fading gradually into serene silence. You breathe with it. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, settling. You are part of the rhythm now, a calm witness above the gentle hum. Your body floats effortlessly. Your mind is attentive yet relaxed. Every subtle vibration beneath you is mirrored in your awareness. The ocean of space carries memory, and so do you. The faint ripples remind you that change always leaves its mark, even if subtly. The spiral that once tightened, that merged, that released motion, has left traces stretching outward, almost imperceptible yet persistent. The universe remembers. Equilibrium does not erase history. It integrates it. You inhale again, noticing the slow spreading of vibrations. Exhale, sinking deeper into calm. The after-ringing is a lesson in patience, in gentle persistence. Nothing here rushes. Nothing here competes. Everything unfolds at the pace of the cosmic sea, guided by invisible hands of gravity and time. Far above, the stars continue their quiet shimmer. They watch, steady and patient. Their light reflects softly on the surface of the cosmic ocean below, faintly tracing the shapes of invisible ripples. The combination of light and motion, stillness and memory, creates a balance that feels both meditative and profound. You float within this balance, weightless, present, aware. The ripples stretch farther. Somewhere, far away, instruments capture the faintest signals. Listening patiently, they interpret them without interference, preserving the story of the merger and its after-ringing. You feel the resonance in your own body, a subtle echo of space's hum, a gentle reassurance that motion, even when complete, continues to matter. Your muscles relax, your thoughts drift, your awareness flows with the rhythm of the universe. Each ripple is a word, each vibration a sentence, composing a story that speaks without urgency. You float, and the story unfolds naturally, guided by gravity's gentle memory and the patient listening of the cosmic ocean. The after-ringing spreads, carrying a quiet message. Union brings calm. Motion leaves memory. Presence honors change. Even the softest ripple has significance, and even the quietest observer matters. You are both observer and participant, floating above it all, breathing, calm, weightless. You inhale deeply, feeling expansion. Exhale, sinking into the quiet embrace of space. The merged depth below rests, but its story continues to move outward. Ripples extend, fainter and fainter, carrying information, carrying memory, carrying the essence of motion into the far reaches of the cosmic ocean. And as you float there, aware and serene, you notice the subtle connection of everything. Spiral and merge, ripple and listener, motion and stillness. You are part of the network of calm, patient attention that the universe has created. Your breath echoes the rhythm. Your awareness reflects the balance. And everything, above and below, continues its gentle unfolding. The after-ringing persists. The universe hums softly. You float, weightless, resting in the knowledge that change always finds equilibrium, that ripples carry stories, that the ocean of space never forgets. Somewhere, instruments wait patiently. Somewhere, waves stretch endlessly. And somewhere, you float, breathing slowly, calm and awake, ready to notice what comes next, as the quiet hum of the cosmic sea carries the story forward. You float above the calm ocean of space, your body weightless, your breath slow and even. The merged depth beneath you rests. The after-ringing carries its story outward, faint but persistent, like soft echoes across an endless pool. You inhale, sensing the vibrations beneath you. Exhale, letting your awareness drift along with them. These ripples are more than movement. They are memory, carrying lessons quietly across the universe. The cosmic ocean teaches patience. It does not shout or demand. Motion is preserved, not forced. Every curve, every spiral, every ripple contains information, not in numbers or equations, but in the subtle shaping of space itself. You float in understanding, letting knowledge wash over you without needing to grasp it all at once. Inhale, exhale. You might imagine the ripples as lines drawn in water, tracing invisible patterns across a vast, calm sea. Each ripple tells a story, of spirals that tightened, of tides that merged, of energy quietly leaving a system. The ocean of space does not hurry. It reveals its lessons gradually, waiting for patience to notice, for calm awareness to understand. Far away, instruments await, listening to these delicate waves. They interpret without urgency, recording the gentle histories of motion. They do not push. They do not demand. They exist to receive, much like you, floating above the ocean, observing without rushing, learning without pressing. The act of listening itself becomes a form of understanding. You inhale, feeling your chest rise. Exhale, letting the subtle hum of the ripples resonate within you. Space is teaching you how to notice, how to feel the significance of gentle motion. Even when the story is faint, even when it seems almost imperceptible, patience allows comprehension. Even the softest ripple carries meaning. Your body mirrors the calm below. Muscles relax. Thoughts drift lightly. Shoulders sink. You float, attentive but weightless, aware of the quiet persistence of memory in motion. Every ripple is a trace, every vibration a note in the symphony of the universe. You begin to sense that understanding is not a sudden revelation. It arrives slowly, like waves meeting the shore, each one a small lesson, each one part of a larger story. The ripples continue their journey. They travel farther than you can see, extending across space in gentle, deliberate paths. Their patterns carry the history of spiraling depths and merged tides. The universe remembers each movement, however subtle, and you, floating above, begin to recognize the elegance in that memory. Nothing is lost. Everything matters. You inhale deeply, feeling the rise of calm within. Exhale, sinking deeper into presence. You realize that the lessons are not just about the motions themselves, but about how the universe conveys information. There is no urgency. There is no force. Knowledge arrives when the observer is ready. Observation itself becomes a gentle act of care, of awareness, of participation in the quiet, slow unfolding of the cosmic ocean. You might smile softly at the idea that understanding comes in waves. Some lessons are strong, broad, impossible to miss. Others are subtle, almost invisible, felt only by those who float patiently, paying attention to gentle vibrations and tiny movements. You float patiently. You notice. You learn. Without effort. Without rush. The ripples beneath you carry data that humans could read. Hints of mass, subtle hints of spin, the orientation of merged depths. Yet these details are not numbers here. They are impressions, like the feel of water against your hand, like the memory of wind across your skin. You sense the rhythm, the shape, the flow. This is enough. The universe communicates in feeling, in gentle pulse, in persistent motion. Inhale, exhale. You sense the far-reaching effects of each ripple. Even the quietest events are remembered. Space stretches to preserve them. The ocean beneath you holds these memories patiently, extending them outward without disturbance. The stories continue across vast distances, waiting for attentive observers to notice, waiting for understanding to emerge naturally. You float among these lessons, calm, aware, receptive. You reflect on your own place in this ocean. Your atoms, your presence, your breath, all are part of the same flowing memory. Each ripple teaches about patience, about connection, about the persistence of gentle influence. The universe operates without urgency. It trusts in motion and in stillness alike. You are a participant, a witness, a student in the quiet school of cosmic rhythms. The ripples remind you that every movement, however subtle, has significance. Every spiral, every merge, every release of energy contributes to the grand story. Understanding does not require force. It does not demand immediate attention. It comes softly, gradually, patiently, to those who float, breathe, and notice. You inhale, drawing in calm. Exhale, sinking further into the embrace of presence. Your body and mind are aligned with the universe's gentle pulse. Every vibration beneath you resonates with the quiet persistence of memory. You notice it, acknowledge it, let it wash over you. This is the way the universe teaches. Softly, rhythmically, without hurry. Somewhere, far away, instruments continue to listen. They detect the faintest variations, interpret them carefully, and carry the lessons forward. The story of spiraling tides and merging depths spreads across space. The ocean, the currents, the memory, and the listener all participate in a single, patient act of understanding. You are part of this act, floating calmly above it all, breathing, observing, present. The ripples continue outward, fading slowly, like waves reaching distant shores. Yet they carry lessons that endure. Patience, observation, memory, quiet attention. Each ripple is a teacher. Each wave is a message. You float and feel them, integrating these lessons in your own awareness. You inhale again, slow and deep. Exhale, letting the vibrations settle. You recognize the value of gentle observation, the importance of listening without interference, the wisdom carried in subtle motion. The universe teaches in silence, in rhythm, in the patient unfolding of cause and effect. You float in harmony with this wisdom, weightless, aware, calm. The ocean beneath you continues to hum, even as the ripples fade. Knowledge spreads outward, reaching faraway shores. Every event, no matter how small, leaves its trace. You understand now that the universe does not rush. It trusts the slow unfolding of truth. And you float, patient, breathing, connected to it all. Inhale, exhale. The lessons of the ripples are subtle yet profound. They remind you that understanding is a gift of patience, that observation itself is a form of care, that space remembers even when time seems still. You float above the ocean, aware of the stories stretching endlessly outward, carried on waves of calm, persistent motion. The cosmic sea teaches without pressure. The ripples carry knowledge without demand. You listen, you notice, you learn. And in doing so, you become part of the same rhythm, the same ocean, the same flow that has carried spirals, mergers, and vibrations across space and time. Somewhere beyond sight, instruments continue their quiet listening. Somewhere, waves stretch endlessly. And somewhere, you float, breathing slowly, calm, weightless, absorbing the lessons the universe offers, ready for what comes next, as the ocean carries the story forward. You float above the cosmic sea, weightless and calm, watching the ripples continue outward from the merged depths below. As you drift, it becomes clear that you are not separate from these motions. Your atoms, your breath, your very presence are part of the same vast ocean that carries black hole mergers across the universe. Each inhale you take mirrors the expansion of space. Each exhale reflects the settling of motion into calm. You are a participant in the rhythm of existence, connected, quiet, and patient. Inhale, exhale. The cosmic ocean does not distinguish between the grand depths that merged and the small currents of your own being. Every movement matters. Every ripple counts. You imagine your presence as a tiny wave upon this immense sea, subtle, gentle, yet inseparable from the greater currents. You float, weightless, and feel the harmony of connection. You notice the vibrations from distant spirals, from merging tides, still moving across space. They brush against your awareness softly, like a cool breeze over a calm lake. They touch you without effort, without urgency, reminding you that every particle, every breath, every movement participates in the same slow, patient dance. Above, the stars shimmer faintly. Their light reflects on the surface of the cosmic ocean, tracing the paths of unseen ripples. You imagine that each beam of light carries a subtle vibration, a gentle pulse that resonates with your own awareness. You are present in the same ocean, breathing in time with the universe, floating effortlessly above its vast, quiet memory. Your body aligns with this rhythm. Muscles soften, shoulders relax, thoughts drift lightly, as if carried by gentle currents. You are not separate from the story beneath you. You are part of its ongoing song. Your existence matters as a wave in the ocean, a pulse in the continuum of motion and stillness. The ripples carry knowledge without numbers, without urgency. They stretch across space, tracing arcs of memory that connect distant events with one another, linking the depths that spiraled, merged, and resonated, with instruments and observers far away. You are included in this network of calm attention. Your breath mirrors the subtle ebb and flow of space. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. The cosmic ocean has a quiet way of teaching. It shows how motion persists, how memory stretches outward, how presence matters without demanding recognition. You feel your atoms as part of this continuity, your own weightless awareness participating in the subtle dialogue of space. The universe recognizes you without need for acknowledgement. You belong without effort. Somewhere far away, instruments continue to sense faint vibrations. They detect motion that has traveled across vast distances, recording the memory of spirals, mergers, and ripples. You smile softly at the thought. These patient listeners are companions in a universal rhythm that includes you as well. You breathe with them. You float with them. You are part of the cosmic tide. The merged depth below has settled, yet its influence extends endlessly. You feel its gentle tug, not as pressure, but as a quiet invitation to recognize your own place within the ocean. The ripples carry its story, reaching every corner of space where attention exists, where awareness persists. You float, attuned, patient, receptive. Your presence, though small in comparison to spiraling black holes, is a wave in the same sea. Each breath you take mirrors the universe's calm exhale. Each thought drifts as effortlessly as a ripple extending across the cosmic ocean. You are part of the ongoing pattern of motion and memory, a quiet observer, an essential participant. Inhale and sense expansion. Exhale and sink into the calm of understanding. The ocean of space reminds you that connection does not require action. Belonging does not demand effort. Presence is enough. Every ripple, every subtle vibration, every quiet pulse matters, and you are included in their continuity. You float, weightless and aware, integrated into the universal rhythm without expectation, without strain, without haste. You notice the soft hum beneath you. The after-ringing of merged depths continues to move across space, brushing against your awareness. Each ripple is a whisper of history, a reminder of movement preserved, of memory carried forward. You feel the subtle resonance within your body, a quiet echo of the cosmic dance that extends infinitely. Somewhere beyond sight, other observers wait, instruments listen, the universe remembers. You float among these networks of attention, your presence silent but significant. Breathing slowly, you sense the interconnection of all currents, all ripples, all movements. You are part of the same vast memory, the same ongoing dialogue of existence. Inhale, exhale. The cosmic sea carries lessons in its quiet way. It shows that motion leaves traces, that presence is meaningful, that understanding arrives without demand. The ripples that travel across space are not just signals. They are gentle teachers, guiding you to recognize your place within a grand, patient system. You float and feel these lessons wash over you, weightless, calm, and awake. You notice how vastness does not isolate. The merger of spirals, the ripples traveling across light years, the patient instruments listening. These are not separate from you. They resonate in harmony with your own awareness. You breathe with them. You float with them. You belong without needing to prove yourself. The ripples move outward endlessly, stretching beyond what you can see, beyond what you can imagine. They carry memory, understanding, and connection. And you are a wave in the same ocean, part of the gentle, patient persistence of the universe. Every inhale, every exhale, every heartbeat is synchronized with the vast rhythm of cosmic motion. You smile softly. The universe includes you. The cosmic tide carries your presence as effortlessly as it carries the faint vibrations of distant mergers. Weightless, calm, aware, you float in quiet harmony. Presence alone is enough. Being here, breathing slowly, observing gently, connects you to the slow, deliberate rhythm of space. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. The cosmic sea stretches endlessly beneath you. Ripples, after ringing, memory, and motion continue across unimaginable distances. Your awareness is part of this continuum, your breath part of the rhythm, your presence part of the ongoing dance of space. Calm, weightless, and attentive, you float inside the same ocean that carries black hole mergers, gravitational waves, and gentle ripples that will persist forever. And as you drift there, above the calm, merged depths, you feel the reassurance of belonging. You are part of this infinite rhythm, included in every subtle vibration, every whispering wave. You float, breathing slowly, aware of the soft persistence of motion, and ready to continue with the cosmic story as it unfolds. You float above the cosmic sea, weightless and calm, aware of the ripples stretching outward from merged depths. The waves have carried their stories far, fading slowly, like echoes beneath water. The after-ringing has diminished, leaving space serene. You breathe with the rhythm of the ocean beneath you, inhaling expansion, exhaling calm. Every breath becomes a wave, a gentle movement within the vast, quiet sea. Inhale, exhale. The merged depths below rest in quiet grace. Space has shaped itself around them, curving gently, smoothing naturally. You notice how calm persists, how memory endures without turbulence. The ocean of space hums softly, carrying traces of motion into distant reaches, far beyond your awareness. You float, weightless, supported, fully present. The cosmic sea teaches one final lesson. Endings are not abrupt. Closure is not a sudden drop, but a gradual settling. Motion dissipates gently, integrating into stillness. You inhale slowly, feeling the soft expansion of presence. Exhale and let yourself sink deeper into calm. Ripples fade, yet the ocean remembers, silently, endlessly. Your body mirrors this rhythm. Muscles soften, shoulders release, mind drifts. Thoughts flow like tiny currents across a still sea. You float effortlessly, a quiet witness to the gentle persistence of space. You are part of its rhythm, your breath aligned with its pulse. Presence is enough. Observation is enough. Weightlessness is enough. Above you, faint starlight shimmers softly, reflected across the cosmic ocean. Its glow is calm, serene, and undemanding. You notice the subtle vibrations beneath the surface, traces of spirals and mergers, yet they are no longer urgent. They exist quietly, remembered by space itself, integrated into the fabric of the universe. You breathe, sensing connection, understanding, and peace. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, sinking further. The ocean beneath you is a patient teacher. It shows that change does not erase memory, that motion leaves its gentle mark, that calm follows every ripple. You float in alignment with this lesson, weightless and attentive. Your breath rises and falls with the rhythm of space, a quiet echo of the vast, patient motion beneath. Somewhere far away, instruments continue to sense faint vibrations. They record the whispers of motion, but now these ripples are gentle, almost imperceptible. Listening, they interpret the quiet story of the cosmic ocean, noting the persistence of memory without interference. You float among these networks of observation, part of the same calm understanding. The merged depths below are still. Their influence continues, carried in faint waves, but the ocean is quiet. Ripples fade into gentle hums. Space settles fully. Equilibrium has been achieved. You inhale slowly, exhale completely, feeling the stillness permeate your body. Calm persists in every cell. Weightlessness is complete. Presence is complete. Your awareness drifts further, touching the far reaches of the cosmic sea. Motion, memory, union, and after-ringing have left their mark. Yet the ocean beneath you remains serene, undisturbed by the events it has carried. You are suspended in the quiet, aware of your connection to the vast rhythms that continue endlessly. Inhale, exhale. The cosmic sea hums softly, and you feel the slow, gentle pull of gravity. Not as force, not as weight, but as support. It holds you effortlessly, just as space has carried ripples, memories, and spirals across eons. You float within this support, trusting the gentle current to guide you into rest. You might smile softly, noticing the subtle humor in it. Even as the universe orchestrates immense movements across vast distances, you are cradled by the quiet pull of invisible tides. Calm, weightless, aligned. The cosmic ocean holds all things without haste, including you. The ripples from past spirals and mergers now exist only as memory, faint vibrations in space. They carry the story of motion, union, and equilibrium, yet they do not disturb the calm of the present moment. You inhale deeply, expanding with awareness. Exhale, sinking deeper into peace. The universe continues its rhythm, patiently and silently, and you are part of it. Your breath is now a gentle tide, rising and falling with the cosmic pulse. Muscles release fully, thoughts drift lightly. You are floating, entirely weightless, fully present, yet approaching a state of gentle rest. Awareness softens. Calm expands. The ocean carries memory and motion, and you are held by its infinite patience. Inhale. Exhale. The surface above you reflects faint starlight, soft as moonlight on water. Below, the merged depths have settled completely. Space has remembered, integrated, and smoothed every ripple. Instruments, distant and patient, record faint echoes, but they do not disturb the stillness. You float in harmony with the quiet persistence of space, breathing, weightless, fully supported. The cosmic sea whispers that rest is not absence, but presence aligned with rhythm. Motion and stillness coexist. Memory persists without demand. Ripples have faded, yet the ocean remembers. You float in this continuum, aware that calm is complete, that observation is enough, that presence matters. Inhale slowly, expanding fully. Exhale, sinking completely. You feel the gentle tug of the ocean as it supports you, its memory stretching infinitely beneath. Every ripple, every spiral, every merger has left its mark, yet the surface remains serene. You float, observing, breathing, integrating all that has occurred. Calm is whole. Presence is whole. You are aligned with the slow, endless rhythm of the universe. The cosmic sea continues beyond sight, carrying faint memories and gentle vibrations, persistent and patient. Your awareness drifts along these invisible currents, weightless and secure. Ripples have taught, mergers have shaped, and space has remembered. Now you float within that remembrance, supported, resting, safe. Inhale, exhale. Your body and mind are aligned with the ocean. Muscles release, thoughts soften, awareness stretches. The universe continues softly, without demand, without urgency, carrying memory and motion across endless distances. And you float within it all, weightless, calm, breathing, fully integrated into the patient rhythm of space. The ripples may fade, the after-ringing may soften, but the memory persists, carried by space itself. You are part of this memory, this rhythm, this quiet persistence. Breath, body, awareness, and cosmic sea flow together in gentle harmony. Inhale deeply, exhale completely, and as you drift, the story slows, the ocean calms, the universe hums softly, and you float, weightless and at rest, breathing with the rhythm of the cosmic sea, as its quiet presence carries you gently into sleep. The cosmic sea continues, quietly ringing, endlessly patient, while you drift into your own restful silence.